Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I still owe you a video for a 3.5 billion damage or zeroing player thingy. Haven't forgot about that. I've been a little bit distracted this week. So, yep. Anyway, still love you guys. And so we've got some news today. People are talking about the merger, and this came up in the conversation. Hold on, let's see where it is. All right, so somebody's voting for me for president. Yeah, well, we know how well that would go. Rev did what shit? Hope you flushed it. Yeah, well, it definitely got flushed eventually, but it was a big turd, and so sometimes, it takes a while to go down the toilet. Okay, the only thing I know Rev did shit, it was nothing. If you compare about the other bully or motivate the right thing, cause way of making big players spend. Yeah, I adore the man, but he ain't acting enough to make the choice. Let's see. I'm just kind of like going up. Dun, 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 dun. So you guys are all being YouTube famous today. You're getting doxxed. All right, so there we go. This is out of the way. Now, I guess it's story time. So story time means this isn't really part two. I'm going to skip ahead. This is like part three. You guys don't get part two. So what happened is I was really, really grumpy at Kingdom 94. I had a bunch of friends there, or at least people I thought were friends, and they betrayed me. And I didn't feel I didn't feel good. I had already spent I don't know, maybe $5,000-$10,000 there, but it didn't matter. I just said, whatever. I don't want to be in this kingdom full of a bunch of people who I just don't feel good about. The level of animosity there was going to be very high, and it just wasn't kind of the way I wanted to play the game, because contrary to what people think, I don't actually play a war game. This is a social game to me, and I want to be with people that I love and people that are friends. And the team that I have in 134, we've basically been family now for 4 years. I did take some hiatuses, but I logged in almost every day. So even though I didn't spend $1 for a year one time, and then I didn't spend $1 for 6 or 8 months another time, it didn't mean that I wasn't around. I mean, I was. I didn't really play the game, but I logged in, I said hi, and I talked to people outside of the game. So, yeah, 94 was basically getting flushed down the toilet. I couldn't stand it. I don't like being betrayed, and yeah, that was the end of it. So I went to 134. And my thing is kind of I'm an empire builder. I'm a team builder. This is kind of me at my core. And so when I started the kingdom, I was like, hey, everybody, chill out. And I wasn't the top rank. I mean, I told everybody, I don't really want to boost. I'm cool being, rank whatever. It didn't matter. So I was just slumming it around like an SH16, SH19, something like this. And the top ranking guy was like a 22 or, whatever. But I was okay with that. And there's this dude, and I think he was a little bit younger. And apparently, because I was trying to lead people by influence, not by power. Basically might doesn't make right type attitude. I was just, trying to unite people and be cool and chill and say, to establish some kingdom rules like, hey, everybody chill out. Let's be a team player and just play the long game. And yeah, so there were some people that I guess felt challenged by that, felt I was a dictator. And I'm okay with that. I mean, they can think that I was bossy, and maybe I was. But when you're right, you're right. Right? Right. So, yeah, this one guy, and his name was Guardian or something like that, and he had this fruitcake sister. It was probably just his alt account, and they were both his fruitcakes, both of his personalities, I mean. And so somehow, somewhere, these two young fruitcakes, maybe one person, maybe two, whatever, decided that I was in their way for achieving their goals, and that they had to destroy 777. So they united basically all the haters, and they attacked us. And it was kind of 4 years ago, this is an epic battle of everybody attacking this little baby alliance. And I mean, none of us had any stats, and we defended it off. And the next day we were like, okay, we made it. And so, this was strike one against this guy. And I wasn't sure, what I was going to be, how my response was going to be to this. Like, was I going to, boost up and squish him? Or is I going to, just like, okay, how are things really going to play out? Because I know the more you kill people, the more, people go away. And, yeah, he just kept provoking me and trying to turn people against me. And so I think he changed his name from Guardian to Steamroller. I don't know where he is now. He's a nobody. But, so he changed his name to Steamroller. And he kept provoking me. So I finally said, like, screw it. This is it. People don't respect you if you're, like, level 16 in the game. So I poured it in the middle of his alliance. And I just went, it's Koa. There's no magic to it. There's nothing special to it. You just spend money and you just upgrade. So I went from, like, level 16 to 22, 23, I forget, something like this. It was basically kind of equivalent to his level in the course of a fairly short period of time. I think it was an hour, 2 hours, whatever. I don't remember exact details. But I basically boosted up and I'm like, okay. And then, so I left my shield. I'm like, now let's talk. Because, he had been, the dominant player. And, I still have the supports from 777 and some allies. And when he saw me boost up like this, he realized, okay, wow, this guy is pretty serious. Because, I had a reputation from 94 and some other kingdoms of boosting up a little bit and being, being revenge. But nobody really took me serious because I'm like an SH16. So I just boosted up, just popped 22 or something. I forget, whatever. And this spooked him. And at that point, his fragile little boy ego, like so many of the other little boys and Sims in this game, he panicked. He went offline. And we did some really, really stupid, low quality rallies. I honestly may still have the battle reports from those. Yep. They were not pretty. But so we did some really bad rallies. They like maybe had no infantry in them or something like this. It was before I knew anything. I don't think anybody knew anything in the game. Like some people maybe knew a little bit, but yeah, this is pretty early in the game. So we did some bad rallies, but we ended up zeroing him out. We took his relics. And that was the end of bully number 1. Now, there was some tinies. Yeah, we'll just call them tinies. That's more funny. Some tinies pieces of shit in my kingdom. And I had told them day 1 about my rather grumpy history from Kingdom 94. And Kingdom 94 and them, I guess, apparently had talked, and they had decided that, tinies don't like me. And that the tinies from 94 had influenced the tinies and 134. So they decided, instead of a direct battle, to secretly plot against me. But I had spies. I had a sympathizer and one of their R4s, who was Taiwanese. And actually, believe it or not, I actually love Taiwan. I've been there a couple of times, more than a couple of times. And just lots of really yummy street food and some, chill nightlife and things like that. And so, behind the scenes, some people know who I really am. And I don't want to say I'm a cool person, but, I'm not this evil, fat McDonald's eating, goofball that doesn't know anything about world culture. So, I can relate to people. I can understand them, and I made some friends. And one of their R4s is like, look, these guys are planning against you. They're just slowly building a power, and, they're just going to flip on KV. On the first KVK, they're just going to, pop out and flip on you. So I went to my R4. I said, hey, man, look, I can't do this alone. I'm going to need somebody to, basically be my wingman, and we're going to have to do this together. So, yeah. Based on the information from the R4 and some other indicators, I was like, it's time to go. We're gonna squish them. So we did probably about 2 weeks of blasting them. But this is back when King of Avalon had lots and lots and lots of cheating and bullshit and garbage. And the form of cheating that they were doing is a refund scam. So, spend money, refund, spend money, refund, spend money, refund. And they just kept doing it over and over and over again. There was another thing that was really prevalent for them at the time. And so when Koa had the Samsung App Store, they would do local Chinese promotions of like 70 and 90% off of packages. Not kidding. So like if you're from Chengdu, or from Shanghai or Shenzhen or something like this, they would do a regional promotion for you. because, well, they could. And so sometimes they were getting these regional promotions. So between the refund scams and the regional promotions, I just got wore out. I was like, I'm not spending real money against cheaters. Like, duck that. Just get out of here with that. So when they did this, I mean, they boosted up past me, using this bullshit, and they beat me. And that's when Sky came into power into 134. And Sky wasn't really like warmongering type people. They were more like, just kind of like farmers that just wanted to win. They weren't really pieces of shit. But the N14 was like a branch of them that was like, we just want to kill everything. We've got small dicks, and we need to use the game in order to compensate for our real life. And so, yeah, they decided to basically subjugate all Western people in the kingdom. Like, farm for us or die. And that didn't fly too well with a lot of people. So they basically destroyed the kingdom. So I'll admit to squishing Steamroller, aka Guardian. I'll admit to basically slapping around some of the French people, I think, one time, and maybe some of the Russians one time. Can't remember, but it was nothing major. It was just like, it was a love tap. But I mean, in terms of overall, my design was very much just everybody chill out. Let's be team players and be cool. So N14, they had their run for about 6 or 7 months. It was, I think, July of that year. So the kingdom started like January 1st. And so it was like July that year. So, I mean, like I was out from like middle of February, early February until July. And so what had happened is the first anniversary was coming up, and like a week or two before it popped, my developer contact said, hey man, we fixed all the cheating. And I'm like, really? Really, Scooby? And he said, yeah, really, Scooby. So I spent like 30K in a weekend and something like that. But anyway, so the people who destroyed this kingdom, 134 is N14. They killed like every Western player that didn't bend the knee. And most Western players aren't going to bend the knee to a bunch of, janky little dick, tinies. So yeah, there we go. But that's kind of like part 3. And then like part 4, I mean, the teaser on that is that, I mean, you guys have seen a lot of that. I boosted up, that's my doorbell. I boosted up just a whole bunch, and I mean, that war is, you guys can see that on YouTube. So that's kind of like part 4 plus 100. And eventually the chicken shits left, but whatever. So yeah, I mean, we've had 2 outbound migrations. We've had, this video is going to have to end because of that. So whoever's at the door, I'm just going to have to kill. So, well, maybe not kill, but at least rally their house. So there we go. There's part 3. I'm going to make another video on my commentary on the merger here shortly. Anyway, so because, I mean, this video is just too long, I was going to cover the merger. But currently, it seems more interesting than their plan before. All right. Happy Christmas, guys. Love you. Bye-bye.